In this video, I'm breaking down the top 5 defenses you need to be ready to turn your D from average to elite here in CFB 26. If you're tired of getting dotted every single game or want to become the best defensive player in your league, this is going to be the perfect and only video you need to see on defense here today. So don't skip out on any of the defenses I have for you, and let's jump right into it. The first defense I want to show you is the new best Blitz defense here in CFB 26 from Dime Normal. Let me show you what makes it so good. Alright, so we're going to come into Dime Normal here. Our play is going to be Dime Blitz 3, and we are going to come into the left two-man custom stunt. Alright, so it's going to look something like this, and we're going to be using this linebacker Lawson. The setup here is going to be shifting your D-line left, right, and then you are going to, now it's optional if you want to put a cover 3 cloud on the field so that you don't get beat right here up this seam when the safety runs down. That probably happens to a lot of you guys, so you can put your top safety here in a in a deep half, and then put your outside corner in a cloud flat. So now this is what it's going to look like. Also press RB, right stick up as always to pass command your defense. But what you're going to notice is when you move that guard outside, you essentially create a 4-on-3 advantage over there on the left side, which is what allows for one of your defensive linemen to come in clean, because now I move 77 out towards the sideline here, and then there's only 3 linemen on this side, and we have 4 guys, and so that allows for one of our guys to just squirt through there and actually go get the quarterback on the ground. What makes this so dangerous though is actually that stunt and shifting the defensive line, because now your nose tackle loops over to the left side instead of coming over here to the right, and so the offensive line, especially if they've never seen this blitz before, they're not going to really know what to do. But also it's even hard to block when you know it's coming, just because of the way that it's set up, getting 4 guys on one side, right? And so boom, we take the snap down. When you get caught on a block like that, like, you don't want to, I have 2 controllers so I accidentally did, but if you get caught on a block like that because you're standing too close to the guard, you just spam the A button to get off the block as quickly as possible and then get back into coverage. But what you're seeing, we're going to go with it again, where this time they block their running back. We set it up the same way, shift our D-line left, pass commit. What you're going to notice is there's no flame icon, the running back's going to step up to block one of our guys. So boom, take it, and then we're able to see how that running back, he tries to slide over, but he's a running back. He gets just ran through by a bigger, stronger defensive end, and we're able to go get the quarterback on the ground. You see how Jam Miller right here, the running back, pan the camera to him, boom, and he just wants no parts, does basically nothing here. The most important thing for you, like as always, using over the middle of the field, taking everything away, and making sure that they don't have a quick read that they could hit. But really, this blitz, Dime Normal, shift the D-line to the left, pass commit, and then really try to get the attention of the offensive line by standing over this guard and really doing a great job of getting his attention. So that next defense that I want to break down is actually the new meta defense here in College Football 26 from Nickel 3-3 Cub. Let me show you what makes it so dangerous. So we're going to come here into Nickel 3-3 Cub. This is actually featured in my 4-3 multiple defensive ebook for those of you guys that are interested. More on that later. But we're going to come here into Mike Blitz 0. I would also recommend that you have your curl flats on 5 and your zone drops. But what we're going to do here is user this middle linebacker, shift our defensive line to the left, really just always to the left. It doesn't matter which side the running back's on, you're always shifting them to the left here with this blitz, and then you're going to drop your outside linebacker right here into a curl flat assignment. And now what you're going to be able to do is essentially D-pad switch stick onto him right off the snap. Like, it's literally instant, right, is when you're trying to do it. Now, standing the correct spot is really important too. You want to stand probably about right here, just over that left shoulder of the center, just so that when you actually D-pad switch, you're running into the center and not running into the right guard. But what we're going to see, again, pass commit our defense as always, and we're going to take this snap and immediately press that D-pad to the right, and now you're able to see how our man comes in clean right off the edge. It's the same thing we talked about in the last blitz as far as creating a 4-on-3 advantage, but now you're able to do it while still being back into coverage to take away whatever could be over here, breaking into the flat. You see how Jam Miller's running running out here, but we have our safety crossman, but I'm out here to take away this or anything in the middle, right? Same thing we talked about, 4-on-3 advantage. You get your user right here to run to the center, and then there's 2 linemen over here. You have 3 guys. No custom stunts, nothing fancy, just a very simple setup that you can go to time and time again. Especially, I would save this probably the first time I call it is like a second and long situation, really back them up, because what you're just gonna see, time and time again, is that we're just gonna be able to walk in free. So we go with it again right here, and we are going to set it up the same way, and it's gonna be the exact same result, where it's like you master quick adjustments, you're able to set that defense up and go through the progression a whole lot faster. But probably what your next question is, BLT, what do you do if they block their running back? So if they block their running back, what we're going to do is we're going to set it the same way, shift the D-line left, drop this man into a curl flat, and then put our top safety now, especially if you know they're blocking their running back, in a hook curl, because you no longer need him actually to guard the running back if he's blocking, because now what that's going to allow you to do is press D-pad up instead of D-pad to the right, which is going to help you be over the middle of the field sooner with your user. So stand in the same spot, pass commit the defense as always, and we're going to press D-pad up this time, and it's the same thing that I told you guys from dying normal. Running backs are going to struggle at the point of attack when they're trying to block these outside linebackers who just run in free just like this. Boom, just push our way into the quarterback, and we're able to get him to the ground because it's the same 4-on-3 advantage, but then the running back makes it 4-on-4, but he's a running back against one of our premier, outside linebacker pass rushers, and we're able to get the quarterback on the ground in a hurry. So Mike Blitz 0 here, 3-3 Cub, simple setup, shift the D-line left, drop them into a curl flat, pass commit your defense, and as long as you stand in that right in the correct spot and then D-pad switch it, it's really not going to matter what their pass protection is, and you're going to be able to get the quarterback on the ground in a hurry. Alright, so if you found those first 2 defenses helpful here in College Football 26, you're going to start using them in your next game. Make sure you go down below, hit that subscribe button. I break down College Football 26 tips and tricks to help you guys get better every single day, and you don't want to miss out on any of the content that I have. But if you want my full 4-3 multiple defensive ebook with full videos, screenshots, write-ups, everything you're going to need to dominate it on defense, go to the link down below in the pinned comment to grab today by using code YouTube to get 20% off. It's really the most complete, comprehensive defensive ebook you'll ever see, and it's really going to transform the way you're able to lock down on defense. So check it out, and let's jump right back into the video. Alright, next I want to show you the most toxic defense, because this one is able to stop the run and the pass from basically the same exact setup. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So that defense here is going to be nickel double mug. We're going to come into mid blitz 0, alright? So like I said, this one play has the ability to lock down pass defense wise and stop the run. And the way that we're going to do this is going to be the pass setup. If you think they're passing, you're going to take this linebacker Lawson and you're going to stand directly over the center, alright? And so what we're going to also do is drop our man into a curl flat assignment, and you're basically doing the same thing that we did from the last defense from nickel 3-3 Cub, but you're doing it from a different look, and so that's what's going to catch him off guard. It's the same concept. We know the concept works, but we're applying it to a different defense now. So we're going to come into mid blitz 0, drop this man into a curl flat, stand in the correct spot with our user, and as soon as you see the offense snaps the ball, you're going to press D-pad to the right. So boom, take it, press D-pad right, and you're able to see how we're going to get that same 4-on-3 advantage on this with this play, and we're going to be able to instantly sack the quarterback, right? So boom, our user, because we're standing basically in the ideal spot, precision is everything with this blitz, really with everything in this game, right? And so you're going to see we're standing in the spot, he runs into the center, and then we're able to get out here and defend this running back out of the backfield while our man out here on the edge comes in completely clean. The faster that guy, maybe you have quick jump on him, that's going to be really, fantastic for you, and it's going to help you out a lot. So we go with it again, drop this man into a curl flat, make sure you're trying to stand in just about the correct spot here, pass commit your defense to make your blitzes and your sheds a whole lot better. But boom, take it, D-pad, switch stick, we get that guy to come in free off the edge. Very routine, and like I said, you're doing it from the same, it's a different formation, but it's the same concept. And so once you hit them with Cub, then you can go to double mug here and really get the same effect. But if they go ahead and block their running back, what you can do is you can now set it up actually the same way, drop this, like I said, drop the safety into a hook curl, drop this man into a curl flat, and if you want to, you can use the left exit 2-man custom stunt you know, you just would have to test that to see if that's going to really work for you. I've used it. I think when they block their running back, it can make your blitz a little bit better, but there's going to also be time, like you see right there, where your guy's looping through, confusing the offensive line, and you're going to be able to get that quick pressure. We go with it again and block the running back right here, drop our man into a curl flat, drop our guy into a hook curl, and now we're going to just press D-pad up. Boom, and you're able to see how Jam Miller once again steps up to block the guy, but he's just inadequate, and he's not really going to be able to do anything. So that's how I would use pass defense here from Double Mug. Basically the same concept that I talked about there from 3-3 Cub. But as far as run defense, which, like I said, you can do it from the same play, you're going to notice how when you call regular mid blitz and you run Double Mug, they can just gash you, because this lane is going to be wide open here, and if they know how to speed boost, that's just way too much space. The reason why is because there's a flame icon over the head of your D tackle, right? And so when your D tackle comes in clean, like you saw in this play, he's basically going nowhere. He has basically no effect on this play, right? When he's just late. But when you move your user into the correct spot, so boom, you take Jefferson and you move him over the center like this. Now the flame icon moves. You see how the flame icon, when I'm standing here, it's over this defensive end. But now I move over here and it's over the top of the my linebacker. So now he's just going to run in free and be able to tackle Jam Miller or whoever the running back is in the backfield. Why that's really important is, like I said on the last run, they have the opportunity to speed boost when you give them just a little bit of space. And so really with this, as soon as he touches the ball, you're tackling him in the backfield, right? And also I would recommend dive tackling the ball carrier in the backfield by pressing X on Xbox, square on PlayStation. And so now you're just going to be able to tackle these guys in the backfield every single time. And you see how literally as soon as he touches the ball, he's already tackled, right? And so that prevents them from being able to speed boost. It's going to make their runs way less efficient, and this is really great against inside runs. So bottom line here with mid blitz, you can stop the run and the pass. Really all you're doing is changing which linebacker you're using. With the run, you're putting this man over the center. Against the pass, you're more so moving this guy like over the left shoulder of the center and then setting up the blitz. But really mid blitz, another super toxic defense that you need to add to your arsenal. Before I jump to those final two defenses that are super dominant here in College Football 26, and you're absolutely not going to miss out on any of them, make sure you go down below and hit that subscribe button. I'm the only one right now breaking down College Football 26 tips and tricks on YouTube every single day for you guys, and you don't want to miss out on any of the plays or content that I have. But let's jump into those final two defenses, because that next one is going to be a super underrated defense that I've not seen anyone talk about so far this year. Let me introduce you to 3-3 Load Mug. So you can do this from nickel load mug, 3-3 load mug, 2-4 load, whatever it's called, as long as it's nickel load mug, right? So all we're going to do right here is we're going to make sure that we turn auto flip off with this defense, and you can choose any of these plays in here. I just happen to think cover 3 cloud is the best. But there's two different ways to run this. So the first way is just going to be the regular switch stick way, where you're just reading their route concept, whatever they happen to have called, and you're just switch sticking around. You're taking those two linebackers, right, that are in the hook curls, and you're just switch sticking around and then just finding work with your user. Sometimes it's going to be over the middle. Sometimes they're going to call good route concept. Sometimes you have to switch under your safeties, outside corners. But bottom line, if you're going to run it this first way, you're just really trying to find work with your switch stick regardless of whatever play or route concept that they call. But the second way that you're going to do this is you're going to call the left pirate 3-man custom stunt. Either you can do it at the line of scrimmage or you can do it at the play call menu. I'd recommend the play call menu just so you can save time at the line of scrimmage. But what you're going to see right here is we're going to shift our defensive line left right here, and then we're going to stand directly over the center just like this. So what we're going to see is this time we're not going to D-pad switch stick, we're actually going to turbo engage, because you're only sending 4, so you basically have to actually get the attention of the center like as much as possible. So what we're going to do, there's two ways to turbo engage. You can either press D-pad up, right trigger and left stick down, or you can press D-pad left, RB, right trigger and left stick down. So obviously the first one is one less button command, so I would just recommend that. So D-pad up, right trigger, left stick down, and what you're going to see is it's what I told you earlier, where you're just trying to spam A to get off the block as quickly as possible, right? Where if he blocks you, like kind of right there, that was kind of weird because he kind of just let me come in free, and so I was able to go get the quarterback. But a lot of the time, he's not going to do that. He's just going to block you. So D-pad up, right trigger, left stick down, take the snap. And you notice how, again, where he doesn't block me. where if he lets you come in free, you just user rush. But obviously you're standing right over the top of him, so like those first 2 times kind of just rare situations. I'd say he probably lets you come in free like 20% of the time, but you honestly would rather him just block you, because then you get off the block immediately and you let one of your guys out there on the edge get pressure while you're back over the middle of the field with your user. So D-pad up, right trigger, left stick down, take the snap. You see it right there where I get his attention. He blocks me, and that just allows for that really quick pressure with our custom stunt off of the left side. So boom, get the attention of 72, and you notice how fast I'm off this block. Like, literally immediately, as soon as they snap the ball, I'm back into coverage to lurk over the middle of the field, lurk their drags, lurk their hitch. And so, again, it's what we talk about all the time, creating the 3-on-2 advantage, right? Create the overload, right? This is one of the themes of that 4-3 multiple ebook. Create the overload, right? Let our guys play 3-on-2 on the left side because we get the attention of the center, and then we're able to go get the quarterback on the ground. So, really a simple defense here because it's only a 4-man rush, and then you're occupying the center, and then you're going to spam A to get off the block. So whether you want to use the left pirate 3-man custom stunt, the second method, or you just want to sit in cover 3 cloud, no stunts, no blitz, and just switch stick from a 4-man rush, actually both of those are really viable from nickel load mug. Alright, and having great blitzes and run defense is fantastic, but if you can't hold the door in the red zone and you're just allowing people to score touchdowns, you're going to constantly lose games. Let me show you the best red zone defense to use here from 6-1. So really what makes 6-1 so valuable here is that you can stop the run really easily. Simply, I mean, you have 6 guys, or 7 guys really, when you count your user, over the line of scrimmage. So the problem that gets created is when people just try to run inside runs, when you stand over the center, just like we talked about from double mug, when you stand over the center from this defense, now you see, the offense would see this, there's a flame icon over the head of your defensive tackle. So when they take the snap, that means that he's going to come in clean. Now, I would recommend that you click onto him as well to really control him so he's not veering off into space. But boom, we take it, we click onto him, and then we try to dive tackle the ball carrier and prevent him from being able to cut back or follow any blocks into the end zone, right? So again, pinch the defensive line. This is easy run defense. There's no gap shooting. This is just really simple. But click onto this guy, and then you're able to see right there where I get that dive tackle, and sometimes the dive tackle would be even better. Although this guy that I'm using right here, 23, he's really slow, and I can feel it as soon as I get onto him. But we click on, and then we try to dive tackle, and we cut out the legs of the ball carrier. And so when they get in the red zone, you're going to be able, the most important thing is to stop the run, stop RPOs in the red zone, and really you're going to be able to do a great job of that when you have this particular play. But what are they going to do when you stop the run? They're just going to start calling RPOs probably. That's the next best option. The problem is not only are 6-1, you could just run man coverage, right? Pass commit your defense, and a lot of the time your guy out here on the edge, right? It's 3-on-2, so he's going to be able to come down and make that play, right? And bring that guy down, and he's not going to have anywhere to run. So that's going to be really effective for you in the red zone. But also you have the freedom to drop this linebacker out into a hard flat, right? So now I pinch the defensive line, pass commit my defense, and what you're just going to notice here is because you pass commit, and now your guy is going to make a beeline out there towards the sideline as far as guarding the RPO and defending the RPO. He's not going to be playing around looking into the backfield to try to stop the pass. And so really giving yourself that extra option, that extra defender, really makes it even harder for like bad things to happen, or they can still get that ball out there and score touchdowns, because then you're making it basically 4-on-2, in your favor. But then the last thing I would say is you're stopping the run, right, with just by pinching your defensive line. You can stop RPOs by dropping this man out into a hard flat and then pass committing, but you still have to be ready to stop the run, right? And so really the most important thing again for you is just standing right here, and you're just going to watch that man come in clean, just like we talked about with the run defense. I would say stopping RPO runs is harder than stopping RPO passes. And so obviously if they're calling an RPO like just regular pass, some guys are like this guy, he's blocking for the pass, right? And so that just allows for both of these guys to really just walk in free and bring that guy down. So 4-3, even 6-1, it's a really intimidating look. There are good blitzes that we talk about in the ebook that you can still run down here in the red zone. But when you have good run defense from a great front, and then you're able to drop your guy out into a hard flat if needed and pass commit to stop an RPO pass, that's really what makes 6-1 the best red zone defense in the game. Alright, so if you found any of those blitzes, plays, any of those defenses I covered here in this video helpful, make sure you go down below, hit that subscribe button. I break down college football 26 tips and tricks every single day to help you guys get better, and you don't want to miss out on any of the content that I have. But if you want my full 4-3 multiple defensive ebook with the best blitzes, coverages, red zone defense, ways to stop certain offenses, go to the link down below in the pinned comment. You can grab it today by using code YouTube to get 20% off. Again, it goes through the full write-ups, video screenshots, everything you're going to need to dominate on defense, and it's really a no-brainer. But if you want to see a gameplay of me running that 4-3 multiple defense against a real opponent in a live action game, check out this video right here. I'll see you over there. Peace.